Hi, this is Stan Robinson with SHR Marketing. Today I wanted to take just a few minutes to talk about the Microsoft LinkedIn deal, and I wanted to run through the slides that were shared in yesterday's investor presentation, yesterday being June 13th. Since Microsoft posted these slides on their investor website, I'm assuming that they're public and that I can talk about them. Another quick disclaimer: I am not an employee of LinkedIn, so what I'm going to talk about, in no way represents LinkedIn's thoughts in terms of what I interject about what I think about this particular arrangement. But I wanted to share the slides in the hopes of getting some feedback from the LinkedIn community about how they feel about this deal and its implications for us as LinkedIn users down the road. So let me go ahead and get going just as far as navigating through some of these slides. The people who were on yesterday's call are pictured here from LinkedIn and from Microsoft. I just flipped through the disclaimer that they give in terms of these types of deals. They've already come up with some branding and tagline as far as Microsoft being the world's leading professional cloud, combining with LinkedIn, the world's leading professional network. Some details on the deal: it is a $26.2 billion transaction. This is something that I think is significant in terms of how well this will work. The fact that LinkedIn will retain its distinct brand, culture, and independence. I think that is critical. It indicates the fact that even though LinkedIn will be part of Microsoft's umbrella, they will be focusing on integrating their technologies, not necessarily their corporate cultures, which is far more difficult. So the other point on this slide is that the transaction is expected to close this calendar year. That's why I'm thinking that we shouldn't see any major changes in the very near future. A common mission. I was caught by surprise by this announcement, and I quickly found out that I was not the only person that felt that way. But when you look at the mission of these two organizations, it makes sense. Microsoft's mission of empowering every person and organization to achieve more, and then LinkedIn's mission of connecting the world's professionals to make them more successful. So from a high-level strategic standpoint, it definitely makes sense. LinkedIn is the world's largest professional network by far, and based on the metrics here, it is growing, and that is true in spite of its recent woes in terms of stock performance. Of course, LinkedIn investors now are ecstatic. The opportunity ahead: this simply talks about strategically, again, bringing together the professional cloud through Microsoft and LinkedIn's professional network and some of the advantages of doing this. The total addressable market: there's obviously overlap between LinkedIn's and Microsoft's markets, but there's also new opportunity. So they're looking at a $315 billion total addressable market. And some information about both Microsoft and LinkedIn in terms of their user communities, paid subscribers, and so forth. This slide, I think, is important because it talks about Microsoft's productivity tools and what it has available there, combining those with LinkedIn's technology to help professionals build their professional network, find job opportunities, whether that be full-time, part-time, or freelance with LinkedIn's ProFinder tool, and learning and the importance of ongoing learning, both in terms of what LinkedIn has in terms of university information and lynda.com and their online course offerings now. Beyond that, some illustrations. I talk about the importance of LinkedIn as a personal branding tool for every professional. And with this partnership with Microsoft, that's going to become even more important, as over time your LinkedIn profile will be integrated into Microsoft's suite of productivity tools. So you do want to make sure that your LinkedIn profile represents the image and the messaging that you want to convey to your target audience in terms of the value that you bring to them. So that will become even more important. This should be interesting to see. It may take some time to develop, but adding your work projects to the LinkedIn news feed as a result of the integration of Microsoft's suite of tools, their calendar and other tools with the LinkedIn news feed. This one is one that for me is a potential game changer. It's not being talked about a lot, but voice recognition technology will only continue to grow in importance, and so will the idea of digital assistant technology powered by artificial intelligence. And I think over time this will just become part of our regular work environment in terms of how we expect to do things. So Microsoft has Cortana. Of course, there are a lot of Siri users out there, so we'll see what happens in terms of Cortana and Siri over time. So we'll see how things progress as far. Some examples of applications. Social selling is an area that I focus on in terms of helping sales professionals integrate social media into their sales strategy. And this new partnership will definitely have implications there and pose a threat to Salesforce.com. The ability to integrate Microsoft Dynamics CRM tool with LinkedIn Sales Navigator can only help sales professionals become more productive. So this will be exciting to see in terms of how this develops. Organizational insights and information, being able to pull data from Microsoft's productivity suite and combine that with LinkedIn's recruiter offerings will help people in the human resource and recruitment arenas. What they're terming is just-in-time social learning, ongoing learning. This statistic about the useful life of skills and knowledge being shrunk to less than 5 years. Continuing education will only grow in importance over time. So this is a good mesh between lynda.com and any future online course offerings that may come out of this, and Microsoft Office and their Dynamics tools. Some of the value beyond what they've talked about, LinkedIn will have access to Microsoft's distribution channels and their cloud infrastructure. Bing, since Google loves LinkedIn and shows LinkedIn profiles very high in search results when you search for people by name, we'll see what happens once LinkedIn officially falls under Microsoft's suite. So that time will tell. And there are other great applications as well, just in terms of the integration possibility. So as we've mentioned, they still need to get regulatory approval for this transaction, and that should happen. But it'll take a little bit of time, so we shouldn't see any huge changes. This is just a quick overview of the transaction. So I am really curious to hear what everyone thinks in terms of the implication for us as LinkedIn users, areas like, okay, what are those of us who are Gmail users How will this affect us? Those using Siri, those using LinkedIn's ad platform, and the advantages of partnering with Microsoft, which I understand has had some success with its Bing ad platform. So look forward to hearing from everyone in terms of your thoughts on this transaction. Thanks for taking the time to have a look at this. Again, Stan Robinson, SHR Marketing. Have a great day.